Hello there. Hello. Hi everyone. I don't know why that was so camp and effeminate. I discovered something weird about. I just knocked the mic. I discovered something weird about myself, which is sometimes when I drive, I turn into a Twitter, a camp Twitter fiend. Back in the day, pre-Musk. I'll just be like, yeah, go ahead, honey. Don't worry about it, sweetie. You go off, pop off, queen. Yeah, that's my driving. It's like I'm doing a reverse road rage situation. That's not sad. I get road rage. Hey, do you mind if I do something right now? I want to do a chilled out video. One of those videos where I sort of just sit here, expel my thoughts. For example, I've been absolutely addicted to anything Sad Boys with a Z currently, which is Jarvis Johnson and Jordan Adika. Those two together, man, they're just so brilliant. I really do think that they're quite possibly probably are my favorite duo on YouTube currently. Not that there are many duos on YouTube, but they just bounce off of one another very well. They have quite similar sense of humor, but it's not exactly the same. So I think they sort of fill one another's slots quite well, which is. Yeah, that was a sentence that I maybe could have said in a different way. And they're super smart and very insightful, and I tend to agree with a lot of what they say. So I definitely recommend Sad Boys, or just the duo as a whole. They did a fantastic 3-part series on this super racist show. It's absolutely amazing. I think it was called Black White, and it was produced by Ice Cube. Where is this commentary going? Oh man, that's awesome. But yeah, I do kind of want to just do a quick update video. The types of videos that no one watches, no one likes, but I do want to get into it because I've been doing a lot of rebranding at the moment. It's odd because I get a little bit like ADHD when it comes to rebranding on the channel. I just go nuts with it. I've rebranded so many times. This channel has looked so different from time to time. And maybe if I remember to, I'll throw up a comparison between the new intro that I've just made and my first ever intro, and you can see how things have changed. But yes, you may have noticed that things are slightly different over here. This actually started as me just adding text to something, because I knew I was going to do my Alan Wake 2 review, and I knew I was going to call it a masterpiece because I think it is. I think it's absolutely outrageously good. And I thought I could do a cool zoomed in, very intense zoomed in block of text over the footage, and I thought if I had a weighty sound effect to it, it might look quite cool, and it did. It looked great. But beyond that, I was like, well, this is quite cool. This was quite easy to do. Let's see if I can throw together a new outro, because I always felt as though my outro was quite disconnected from my intro. Theming wise, they were quite different. So I threw together something new, which I really liked. I thought was great. But then obviously in doing that, the theming was quite a bit different to the intro, because it followed a new path, so I had to make a new intro that I'm even happier with. I did for anyone who's interested in any way, I did with a lot of clever overlaying on the editing software. There's some visual packs that I used quite cleverly. The visual packs don't look anything like what you see in the intro, but I tweaked them a lot. There's something to be said for putting a lot of post and tweaking into something to make it look kind of over the top and wild, that sometimes just works, and I think that's working here. I've tried to keep the theming the same though, kind of quite spacey and techy and futuristic, which is how I always wanted it to be. I did previously kind of go for a found footage sci-fi 80s sci-fi vibe, and that's certainly not what's going on here, but I really like the aspect that I've got going on. And of course, in doing so, I've slightly changed the logo, the profile picture, which was always BGL, but interchanged and cut up into different pieces, and I've done that here again, but I've done some extra post work, and I've used a different font, and I think it looks way cooler now. I also never liked the spacing on my profile picture, and I felt that there were too many stars in it, so I feel a lot better about this one. So that's changed too. A lot of rebrand. It's just crazy, sometimes I think about how much things have changed since the reboot of the channel in November. I mean, you look back, if you have like, for some reason, a bundle of free time, yeah, go back and take a look at how the videos sort of used to look and function. It's vastly different. It's crazy the amount of change that I've sort of elicited in the past 4 months. I get a bee in my bonnet, dude. I absolutely love like working on all of this stuff, and I think one thing I do like about this rebrand, and one of the reasons I think it's working so well currently, is because it's very organic. This has probably been my most organic rebrand, to where previously I'd be like, okay, I'm going to do this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and I plot it out like, I'm going to start again, I'm going to rebrand, I'm going to, create new intros and all of this stuff. But with this one, I was like, okay, I'm just going to throw a bunch of stuff up. And then after a while, I was like, okay, I'm okay with where I am in this spot. Do I want to do anything new? And I just threw together new stuff when I felt, that I was in that space and I wanted to, most importantly. I actually found those old intros. I actually made those last year, the original intros before these new ones, intro and outro. But yeah, and I just, threw those in and slowly worked on things like added background music, and now I have like these glitchy cuts between footage. I'm working on labeling the footage, and a lot of this is user feedback. I got a comment asking what games I was playing, and so I thought, cool, I'll implement that into the thing that I'm showing, because previously when I rebranded the channel, it was just Call of Duty COD commentaries, old school COD commentaries, and now I'm branching out to whatever the hell game I want to play at the time. But in doing so, I understand that a lot of people are like, well, what game are you playing, because it looks kind of cool. So I'm considering popping some of those on there too, and it's wild, but again, it's very organic. I've slowly drifted into higher production levels. It's a tiny bit more work for me, but every new change I create, I have to create an easy way to implement that change, because if I don't, then I'll lose momentum and I won't want to make videos. So it does have to be, to an extent, quote unquote, easy to do, and quite simple, but that's part of the process, is figuring out what you want to do and what will keep the ball rolling and the chains moving. That doesn't seem right, but yeah, that was a nice little chat. Definitely go ahead and check out Jordan and Jarvis, the two J's, because their stuff is absolutely fantastic. Why would I have to tell you that though? They are vastly more popular than I. But I guess I'll see everyone later. Have a great evening. I'm going to sleep one day.
The PlayStation is only $149, and you can also get leading titles.